Can the public hear us right now?
Looks like we're live now, fellas, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Tina.
It's like we are good to go, Chairman.
All right. Seeing that, it looks like we got everybody we got on the screen. Perfect. All right, so we'll call the November 23rd regular District 5 Fire Commissioners meeting to order. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, any commissioner absences coming up here? Seeing the shaking heads, we know. It looks like we had some communications here in our packets. Did we get a chance? Which ones are you speaking to specifically? I guess, was all the stuff from the Quins part of the communications, or do we have something else, Tanya?
All the communications from the Quins is the first part, and the second part is an email from Peninsula School District regarding the district supporting some vaccination clinics.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. Very good. Yeah, and for those if you didn't get a chance, it's Joe Quinn is kind of taking a back seat to Eric, kind of easing into retirement, I think, and there's also a slight increase in services. So we approved it. It was very reasonable. We approved that. Or I approved the chiefs to go ahead and move forward with that contract. So it was more informational than anything else for everybody. All right. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 9th Commissioners meeting.
So move.
Second.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
and Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, how about some voucher approvals?
I'll move that we approve the accounts payable vouchers as outlined in the agenda totaling $216,615.29.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the vouchers. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, anybody from 3390 this evening? And anybody coming?
That's a negative. I talked to Jake today and he has no reports, but they are online listening.
All right, that takes us right into Chief's report. There, Chief.
Great. First, we have Chief Bierstrom is going to give us an update on vaccines and the clinics.
Well, I am trying to give a report. So a couple of updates. One is about our work with the school district. The board and the chief have been supporting us going down and having an EMT posted up at the clinics. And I've just heard some really great things about what our folks are doing out there. And the support is making a difference to the kids. I'm getting reports of, them wanting to hold the firefighter's hand while they're getting the vaccine. Parents appreciating us being there, school teachers appreciating us being there. So it's one of those places, it's the right place to be, and appreciate the support to allow us to do that. We got a few more clinics coming up at the beginning of December. We'll be at Purdy, Swiftwater, Artendale, Discovery, Harbor Heights, Voyager, Pioneer, Goodman, all of those while they get their second round of vaccines. And we're looking to make sure we've got folks to post up and be present there. So that's been a good thing to be involved in, and we appreciate the support to allow us to be there. With regard to OSHA, we have a new mandate coming. It's a slight variation. It's the vaccine or testing mandate. It's held up in the courts right now. And frankly, I'm not sure, who knows for sure whether this is gonna, where this is gonna go and how it's gonna end. But in the meantime, the district has to be ready for it to become the rule that we have to follow. We are in discussions with the local about the specifics of it. At this time, we're believing that the prior MOA for the proclamation is going to put us in good shape for it, but that is under review. So however it works out, we will be fully compliant when it comes on board. Are there questions about either the school vaccine program or just our work to be ready for OSHA? Hearing none. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. To piggyback on that, on the vaccines, we have 9 new entry-level firefighters, well, 5 entry-level and 4 laterals coming on. One of them did ask for an exemption. It was granted, but we did not give them an accommodation because a new firefighter, we can't accommodate them to go to other academies and other state things. So that firefighter has chosen to get the vaccine. And so all 9 of our new firefighters have got the shot. So with that, we have 4 lateral firefighters, 3 of them are paramedics and 1 is a firefighter. And then we have 5 entry-level firefighters now. We are down to 2 of those 5 are females. At one time we had 5, but they have accepted positions elsewhere. So that's where we're at. Our academy starts in January 3rd here at Gig Harbor, and then the 4th they will be at Central Pierce starting their EMT. So that's where we are, unless one of them accepts another job. But we have 2 more going through the entire process so that they can be ready if somebody accepts a job. Any questions on our hiring or our recruit academy or all the firefighters that we're hiring? Vaccines? All right. Just wanted to update you with Chief Johnson. He's recovering well, still at home, but doing well. Promotions, because of the 4th platoon, we just made a handful of promotions. Nick Martin, Jeff Piercy, Robert Turner, and Jonathan Hunter have all been promoted to operational lieutenant. We promoted Brian Johnson to MSO, and Bob Witherspoon will be taking lieutenant position in training. So we're excited about all of them, and Josh Bacinas will be going back to operations beginning January 1. So we're excited about everybody. I interviewed them all along with Chief Meyer, and they did a great job, and we're excited for the future and all of our lieutenants. So congratulate them when you see them. 4th platoon bids have been completed yesterday. We thought it would take a couple days, but they were done by early afternoon, and the process went great. So now we're working on debit days, and that should be done by the end of the week. So the 4th platoon is moving ahead nicely. We are working on a swearing in ceremony for all of our promotions on January 13th. So that put that on your calendar. We're gonna host it here at headquarters, give all of our firefighters that have been promoted recently, swear them in, let people pin their badges on, and we're gonna have that ceremony on January 13th. We also need to do a swearing in of 2 commissioners. So we'll be doing that. Commissioner Wilsey, what did we decided that December 14th, if I remember right, for the 2 commissioners? Okay. All right. So we'll be doing that via Zoom on the December 14th meeting. Like Commissioner Wilsey updated you on the legal, I have signed that contract, and we put it in your packet. If there is if there's something that we need to go outside the Quins, we occasionally may do that at like to snur or something, but for the most part, we'll be using the Quins for our legal advice. As far as the capital facilities plan, we're moving forward, updating it with information. And the only significant things changes that I've been making as we go along is, number one, we forgot to add the truck company, the actual ladder truck, into our capital facilities. We had the engines, we had the medic units, and we just simply forgot that. So that's on me, but that's why we're going through the process for input from firefighters and the public. And a firefighter asked me, where's the ladder truck? And I made the mistake of leaving it out. So I will be putting that back in. I did take that advice from Carl about Station 51, moving that up. That is a high priority, and he's right. We can save some significant savings by flip-flopping that with Station 58, 59. So I'll be making that change. And then I am also removing the housing. It's about $2.5 million. I'll be removing that. So those are the significant changes that I've made. But I'll update those and keep you up to date. And on the 14th, I'm putting together an entire packet that's all in one, and I'll try to get that out to you early. So that's the changes that have happened in the capital facilities plan. Other than that, I don't have any other updates, unless anybody has any questions or comments or direction. I did do a department update today on the capital facilities plan, just allowing firefighters to give me input or ask questions. I didn't get a lot of feedback today, but it was just an opportunity for the fire department to hear from me and give any input. So turn it over to you, Chairman.
All right, thank you, Chief. And yeah, thanks again for Carl for making that recommendation. Flipping 51 only makes sense to go sooner and save some dollars there. So always appreciate that. Are there any standing committee reports tonight? I know that Commissioner Ency and myself will be meeting here, I think next week, as a matter of fact, just to kind of go over some cleanup of the in the contract. There's a lot of MOUs and LOAs attached to it. And I know Tanya and President of the Union, Jake Flick, have done a tremendous amount of work to try to get rid of a lot of it and consolidate it, clean it up, so that when we go into negotiations again here soon, that we don't have to deal with all that. So we'll give a report on what we come up with later on from that. Any other, Bryce, I saw you came back on. Did you have something for standing committees or?
No, I just sneezed, so I turned off my video.
All right. All right. So that takes us to the financial report. Chief Langlow.
Okay, good evening. I'm going to share my screen here and we'll bring up the financial report. Does everybody see the October 21 financial report? Does that come up okay? Okay. All right, so this is the October 2021 financial report for the period ending October 31st. As you can see, we were on the 31st of October, 83.33% of the way through the year. Revenues, you can also see we've been watching those the last couple of months on the property tax front. We've been watching those track, the year-to-date budget number track underneath the year-to-date of the year complete percentage. And we were talking about waiting till we got that October dump of property tax revenue, the large dump we get twice a year. And so you'll see that we got that, and we're tracking right along where we should be, where we thought we would be for what we budgeted and what we received. So revenues 93.89%, tracking ahead of percentage through the year. Again, that's a piece of that is because of those property tax, that big dump we got in October. So revenues tracking slightly ahead. And then we have total expenses that are tracking just shy of 3% under the budgeted expenses. So all in all, expenses and revenues are both in good positions, tracking where we think they should be. And we got about 16.5% of the way to go through the year. So we'll start working on the November financial report for your meeting next month. And you can see at the bottom, those are our fund balances, as those are tracking along nicely as well. So that will be your October financial report. Unless you have any questions, Mr. Chairman, I can move on.
I have one question real quick.
Sure.
Will the property taxes continue to trickle in a little between now and the end of the year, just with late payments and such?
Yes, yeah, they will continue to track in, and we watch that. We have a monthly kind of a historical track that we watch, monthly, the percentage of property tax, really the percentage of expenses and revenues that come in by the month. And so they will continue to trickle in. They won't be nearly as big as they were in October, but we'll still get generally the month May and November would be the next highest month as people they trickle in. Sometimes it just depends on which day of the week was the end of the month and how things get posted to the county. And so they will continue to trickle in.
Perfect. Yeah, I thought I remembered that from last year, but I wanted to double check. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Chief Langlow here? All right. Off the hook. For now, you get to come back a lot later.
That's right.
All right, I don't have anything for my report tonight. So that takes us to old business. Here we go, right back on. Budget planning, presentation of the final budget, Chief Langlow.
Okay. Gig Harbor Fire Medic 1 2022 budget. This is final draft with final revisions. And so we'll work through the final draft here, go over final revisions. Overall, there were very, very minor changes, very small. I've got a list here that I'll cover, and that's largely what I'll cover for the board here tonight is any changes we made, item kind of page by page, but very small changes from the previous draft. So again, like we have in past meetings, I'll reference the 2022 budget timeline. So we are at November 23rd. We're on the home stretch. So this is November 23rd, 2021, budget approved by Board of Fire Commissioners. And then we have between November 24th and November 30th, the opportunity or the requirement, excuse me, to deliver the budget to the county assessor's office and to Pierce County Council. And so we'll work through that. And at the end of my presentation here, you'll see resolutions in front of you. If the budget appears in order to the board to adopt the budget, and you'll also see the levy certification letters. And if we're able to get signature on those by either this evening or tomorrow morning, we will get the budget down to the county and to the assessor's office tomorrow. If not, that's okay too. We will do it on Monday, November 29th. So earlier the better, but certainly not before we get a signature from the board. Okay, we'll work through the budget book here. Assessed valuation, no change in the graph from previous versions. New construction and improvement, also no change. Levy rates, the same. Levy collection, the same. Okay, we'll move into the revenue here. A couple slight changes that I want to reference here. The cash carry forward uninvested at the top. That was a change at the previous. That was a change of $129,077 higher this time than it was in the previous version draft 3. The reason for that was we had some 2021 projects that we recognized that we're not going to be able to get completed in 2021 because of the availability of staff time or the availability of supplies, or in many cases, a combination of the both. And so what we did was we recognized that we had the money to do it in 2021. We're not going to be able to spend that this year, so we'll move it into the budget for next year. And so that raised the cash carry forward. As you move down the revenue sheet, the next change is almost all the way at the bottom, where it says transfer to reserve fund and in parentheses capital contingencies. That was 300,000 in version 3. We moved it to 350. And the reason for that was because of the saving. A couple meetings ago, we referenced an adjustment we made to the budget because we got medical insurance renewal rates from local 3390 that were less than we had forecasted. So that allowed us to reallocate some funds. And what we did was we reallocated some of those funds into increasing our capital contingency, transfer to reserves. In the event that we identify in 2022 or beyond, where we have a need for to tap into those reserve funds, obviously that would come with board approval. But we bumped that from 300 to 350, just to be recognizing that we need, as the budget increases and our fleet increases, our buildings age, we may find ourselves in a spot where we need to tap into that. So we decided to increase that by 50,000. And the end of year cash on hand, that went from 298,610 to 294. Was an adjustment based on projects that were completed this year that made the slight adjustment to that. And then a total revenue available for expenses went from 33,028,287 to 33,111,113. And again, that's in part because of, or in large part, almost exclusively because we moved money from 2021 projects that weren't going to get completed into the 2022 budget. So as we continue to move through the budget book, no change. These are the preliminary highest lawful levy limit rates. And so no change there for the EMS or the general fire levy. Expenditures by type, I'll reference a small change. The salaries and benefits number, if you combine those, we have historically kept that between 80 and 85%. And so this in this version of the 2022 budget, we are 80.33%. It was slightly higher in the previous version, and that would have been a reflection of the change in the insurance renewal rates going down. So 80.33% of the budget going to salaries and benefits, right on track with what we historically try to keep. Budget share by division. No change in that graph, other than some slight decimal points as we move some of those. We reclassify some expenditures, or we adjust some, again, those insurance rates, slight change, but nothing significant there. Moving on to the expenditures summary. I just wanted to note, if you go all the way to the bottom where we have the grand total 33,111,113, that is balanced to the dollar with the revenue side. So balanced budget, if you will. So expenditures and revenues balance to the dollar. And now, as for the board, as I move through these divisions, I will stop and mention any changes. Outside of that, we'll keep moving, and I'm certainly open for questions when we get through the budget book. Legislative commissioners, we added in BARS code 522114103. You'll see with an asterisk next to it, project management consultant. So we talked as a group, and we've also talked with the subcommittee, recognizing the desire and the need organizationally to be ready for some project management consultant work as we work towards a possible bond next year. And so if the bond is something that is ultimately supported by the board and voted upon by our constituents and passed, we'll more than likely include a project manager in those bond costs. But there are some things that we think we may need some help with to make sure that we stay on track as we prep for a potential bond next year. So we wanted to put some money into the budget for some project management consultant work. And so that's the $50,000. We're not looking, it wouldn't be looking to bring on an employee that we would necessarily pay wage and benefits to. It would be more just a contract for service like we do with other folks. And so we added that into the bond to be, or into the budget to be ready for that. It's the only change on the legislative side. No change to financial records administration. Information technology data processing. Two small changes that I'll reference on the detail page. Second bars code down, ending in 3501. We got our the Surface Pro replacements. It was 11,000. It went to 11,600 because we got instead of an estimate, we actually got an invoice for those. And so we'll be ready to execute that in January. And one of the annual contracts, it's called CBT Nuggets, was a $923 expense that we were prepared for, that Central Pierce advised that we no longer need. So that was taken out. Those are the two small changes in IT and data processing. Fire control suppression. Move down to the detail page. No change there. There would have been a small, there would have been an adjustment with salaries and medical, dental, and vision based on the change in medical insurance renewal rates. We had assumed we built the budget with a 6% increase, and just as a reminder, Local 3390 advised us the next year it's a 0% increase, so pass through. So that's the change there. Fire control administration. No changes from budget 2 to budget 3 in the numbers. We did add to the detail page the VARS code at the bottom ending in 4904. Those numbers were in the roll-up page just above it, but we've broken them out into the detail page. So that would be a change in formatting there. On the communication side, only a small change, and I'll go to on the detail page. Bars code ending 3507, BK, Bendex King mobile radio install. That's a project that is about 90% complete this year, but there'll be some rollover into 2022. So that's why we added that $2,000 to that line item there. Fire control prevention, I'll go to the detail page, one small change there. In bars code ending 4903 towards the bottom, MSDS online, we're improving that system here organizationally, bringing that into a more current format technologically, and so we increased that from 750 to 1,500. Slight change there. Fire control training. Excuse me. Bars code ending 4106, Recruit Academy. We adjusted that. We got our number, our cost per recruit from Central Pierce, and we're able to adjust that. It was 84,000 last year, 42,000 this year. The majority of that reason is because we're hiring less people that we're needing to send to the Fire Academy, and so that's the change in the Recruit Academy line item there. No change on the detail page. Facilities maintenance. I will go to the detail page here. We did have a couple changes under bars code 3508. First one, station modifications as needed. Was $130,000 in the previous draft. We've moved that to $230,000. We're recognizing that as we transition to the 4th platoon and as our buildings continue to age, there are things that come up that we need to execute on maintenance, and we don't want to continue to defer. And so we took some of the reallocation of funds from the Local 3390 pass through and some other areas that changed, and added those into station modifications as needed to allow our logistics division to be able to execute on station modifications that need to occur beyond the specific knowns. The other three in that area were all three were 2021 projects that were moving to 2022, and that is heating system upgrades at 51, painting of apparatus bays at the stations listed, and painting of interiors at the stations listed. And so our logistics division is confident that they're vendors, and our staff time isn't able to absorb those in the remaining days of 2021. So we're moving those to 2022. And then we move on to vehicle maintenance. One change here, you're going to sense a theme, but the F350 for logistics at 45,000. It's actually on order. There's a 2021 purchase that was pushed off because of the microchip issue that I think probably all of us are familiar with out in the world. And so the vehicle is getting built, and they do have the parts they need, but we're just a little later in the queue than we had expected. So we moved that purchase into 2022. Emergency medical services, medical aid, no change. And then emergency medical services, MSO and admin, also no change there. And that brings me to the end of the specific budget book presentation for the final draft of the 2022 budget. Mr. Chairman, I'm available for questions if anybody has any, and I'll stop the share.
All right, any questions from the board for Chief Langwell on the budget? All right, seeing none. We have a motion?
So resolution 2021-25 is the resolution that would approve the budget as presented.
I'll move that we approve resolution 2021-25.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
and Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, Chief, you just roll on the next resolution here, some housekeeping.
Sure. So the next two resolutions, excuse me. The next two resolutions are specific to the two levies that we have, one for the general fire and one for the EMS. One thing I want to mention is we have taken the format and we have used the county's recommendation for the formatting for how they would like it to be seen in resolution. I've already sent it to the county, received word back on both the levies, both this resolution 26 and 27, that they're in the format that the county wants, and that they will allow us to levy the maximum allowable for both the fire general and both the general and the EMS. Both these resolutions have also been through Eric Quinn at legal, and he has reports that they're in working order and are ready to be delivered to the county should they be adopted.
All right, any questions on the levies here? Resolutions from the board. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve 26 and 27 together.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, you want to talk about the certifications a little bit there, Chief?
Yeah, I can talk about them pretty quick here on the levy certification. So again, this is this actually based on, you can see on the Department of Revenue, Washington State, this is their form. And so they send us the form, we fill it out. And again, these have been through county budget and finance, and they're in working order and ready to go. No board action needed from this. This is Chief Doan's signature on this. more of reporting to you that's putting things from the resolutions in the format that the county needs them to execute. So.
All right, are there any questions from the board members for Chief Langloh on the certifications? All right, moving forward, we got the redo of a personal services contract. Chief, can you give us a quick explanation on this one? I think everyone's aware, but.
Yeah, I will give you a quick explanation. When we were circulating the contract for our HR program manager, Chi Harrington, we were circulating that for approval or for signature after the board approved it last month. Katrina Lawrence, our payroll program manager, recognized in Article 4 we had an error in the wage scale. The intention, because of when Chi was hired, the intention was always to bring Chi up to 100% of top step HR program manager next January of 23. What we'd had listed in there was a 6% increase off of the 2022 base wage. But because of the way that the math worked, originally what I did was I took the 100% top step wage and then took 94% of that number to give us the 2022 base wage, because that was the step that Chi was at, and then put in there that we would have a 6% increase the following year. That would have left the salary about $40 a month short, because it was a percentage off of a smaller number. So what we did was we just removed that 6% number and said the base wage shall increase to 100% of top step of HR program manager, which was the intent the whole time, and just cleaned it up so we had the correct numbers that would give us the correct totals when January 23 rolls around.
All right, any questions for Chief Langloh on that one? Anybody got anything? All right, with that, I'd entertain a motion to approve the lost my words. The amended personal services contract for Chi Harrington.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Chairman Wilsey.
Yes. All right, thank you, Chief. Made it through. Takes us to open public comment. Anybody wishing to come forward, please state your name for the record. You will have 3 minutes. Anybody out there would like to come forward? Looks like we got Jake. Oh, Mr. Hargroves, you there?
How are you this evening?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. Johnny Hargroves here, a resident here in the city of Gig Harbor, out on the uptown side. Question for the chief. In the female applicants that took jobs elsewhere, was there any feedback from those applicants for their choice to not stay here for the city of Gig Harbor or the fire district number 5? Was there any feedback from them? That would be my question.
Yeah, it was just simply closer to where they lived. Most of them lived in the north. I think they took 2 of them went to East Side Fire, and it was simply location rather than moving to Gig Harbor. So
Sure.
it wasn't an issue with Gig Harbor. It wasn't anything like that. I wanted to know that too. So we called some of them, and it was just more logistics and close to home.
Appreciate that. I would have looked at that from coming from an industry where it's important to know what the feedback might be. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anybody else got out there? I saw Jake came on. Jake, did you have anything to say tonight? All right. Anybody else out there? Kind of took a peek. I didn't see any hands raised. Didn't see anything in the chat box. So with that, we'll move on to good of the order. Anybody have anything for good of the order tonight?
Commissioner Wilsey, we kind of blew through the budget, but I mean, we've been looking at it each and every week, but I want to pause and thank Chief Langlow. It was his first budget and he had to do a lot of work and all the assistant chiefs did. Chief Bierstrom really stepped in and leaned in to help him through his first budget, and Tanya was helping us in the process. And of course, Chief Meyer was assisting and Missy. But I just want to thank everybody in the team for all their work, and especially Chief Langlow leading it. I had made him a promise early on that I would lead it, and I kind of did, but he ended up doing it. So I just want to thank him. He did a great job.
No, yeah, and I'll echo that thanks. And I know it's tough to put a budget together, and with the numbers constantly moving around and everything changing and in flux. So it's a good job of hitting a moving target. So thank you. Anything else for good of the order?
Chairman, I just want to say that I'll be staying after the meeting tonight to get all of the documents queued up for signature.
Okay.
So if you guys have the opportunity to check your email tonight or in the morning, I know that Chief Langlow would appreciate that.
Yeah, if everybody can try to get that done tonight, or at least first thing in the morning, so we can get those turned in and get that underway. Appreciate it. All right, anything else for good of the order? All right, special interests, upcoming events. Remind everybody that headquarters is closed Thanksgiving Day, the day after.
We'd also, we're going to have a little, what day is it, Tanya, that we're going to have, is it the 10th? So we're going to have, here at headquarters, we're going to cook a turkey and have a little,
The holiday potluck will
yes,
be
holiday
December
potluck.
15th.
December 15th. I had that written here. So December 15th, you're all invited, commissioners, as chiefs. We're gonna, I'm gonna smoke a turkey, and other chiefs are gonna make a ham and have a little Thanksgiving feast up here. So you're all invited at December 15th. What time, Tanya?
Let's see here, from 12 to 1:30.
12 to 1:30. I also see Chief Meyer's got his hand up before we move on too.
Yeah, go ahead, Chief Meyer.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to let you know this upcoming Tuesday on the 30th, we are having a retirement luncheon for Lieutenant TJ Teeple. So that is going to be this Tuesday, the 30th. So we're planning for that. And then that's also going to include a last ride home for TJ. So you're all invited to participate in that and celebrate TJ's career.
Awesome. Thank you for the reminder on that. Yeah. Congratulations to TJ, and hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that. Thanks. It also looks like we have some Santa visits. Remind everybody, December 6th through the 8th at stations 55, 51, and 50 from 1700 hours to 2130 hours. Those that aren't in the military, that's 5 to 8:30. And then on the 18th is the Gig Harbor Lighted Car Parade. I know, I believe that's the same date. Is that the same date as the boat parade too? We got them both happening that same, I believe it is.
I think is that the Tacoma one on the 18th?
Yes, the Tacoma. I believe Gig Harbor one's on the 11th, the week before. So
yeah, I believe that's correct.
Lighted boat parade on the 11th, lighted car parade on the 18th. So, and do we have a rig participating in that, Chief? Is that what we got up here? Have some representation? Yeah,
we do. We have, I can't remember how many, but we'll be there.
Right on. Very cool. Well, thank you, everybody. Anybody have anything else, special interest, upcoming events need to talk about? All right. Well, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Tuesday, December 14th for our next regular meeting. This meeting's adjourned.